everybody, this is Big Stack Numismatics. I want to welcome all my fellow coin collectors out there. It is Saturday, February 26th. Beautiful sunny day. It's chilly, but there's snow melting and it feels pretty darn good. I'm here with another fantastic early American commemorative coin to display and talk a little bit about. I have my checklist here of early American commemoratives. So I'm happy to take another one off the list, add to that. And before we get to the rest of the video, if you wouldn't mind, I'm on a quest right now to try to get to 1,000 subs, if at all possible, and this kind of content interests you. Would you please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the little bell icon, and give the videos a thumbs up if you don't mind? I would sure appreciate it. Okay, so first of all, let's just get right to it. We have a 1936 Norfolk commemorative half dollar. Let's just get right into this gorgeous beauty here. A lot going on this Obverse here. Here's the deets. PCGS rated MS67 CAC certified. It's always nice. And like I said, a lot going on here on this Obverse. Beautiful lustrous example. A lot of writing, a lot of concentric circles with even more writing. We'll talk about what's on there in just a second. Here is the reverse. There's a mace, royal, British. Okay, as I mentioned, this is the Norfolk, Virginia commemorative. And the writing that's on there, let's talk about that for just a second. You see the Borough of Norfolk Bicentennial. Borough means like a royal place as decreed by a king or a queen. The date of issue is 1936. Interestingly enough, this was minted in 1937. We'll talk about that in just a second. More writing on here. It says the city of Norfolk, Virginia. Town, 1682. Borough, 1736. City, 1845. And then it says, et terra et mer divite tue crescas. So that's Latin for something. I should probably look that up. Interestingly enough, there's 5 different dates printed on this coin, none of which are the date of issue. So this was designated to come out in 1936, came out in 1937 instead. Many commemorative coins were issued there in that year. So there's definitely a diluted market. But let's just talk a little bit about the history of this particular coin. Some background for it. Much of the area now comprising the city of Norfolk was granted by Charles I of England in 1636 to Adam Thurgood, a former indentured servant who had risen to become a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses. Thurgood recruited 105 people to live on the land and named the area for his birthplace, the county of Norfolk in England. Some land was granted to the Willoughby family, and this eventually became Norfolk's downtown. In 1736, Norfolk was officially granted a charter as a royal borough by George II, and the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Robert Dinwiddie, presented Norfolk with a ceremonial mace in 1753, making Norfolk the only American city to have a mace from colonial times. And despite being nearly destroyed during the American Revolutionary War, Norfolk was almost as large of a port as New York City by 1790, but of course the importance declined in the 19th century, and as of right now, still remains a naval base. So, there you go, a little bit of the history of this. The idea here was that we're commemorating when Norfolk was granted the royal borough status. But it's very interesting. And, let's talk mintage for just a second. There was officially 25,000 of these that were minted, and the demand was not great on it. The people that were selling it in Virginia were asking, I think it was $1.50 to $1.65 for each one of these quarters, and 17,000 were sold, and the rest were returned to the mint and melted. So we have 17,000 examples of these. I've read that there are many really good working examples of these. The high points of this help to keep the rest of the coin from getting a lot of wear. So on the obverse side here, the sales is the highest point, okay? And on the back, it's the mace. But because of that, even examples that are not in mint state 67 still have really clean fields because the rim and the mace and etc. prop them up. But that's where you would normally find wear on a coin like this. So, all right. Let's quickly take a look at the PCGS certification page. If you look on here, again, shows that it's PCGS graded MS67. There's 1,200 in this condition through PCGS and 325 that are higher. Current book value of this coin is $525 retail. If I click on the price history, I see that back in the 1970s, even like let's just say March 1st, 1975, it says $205 was the value. That climbed up in that first little hill there to about $1,500 in May 1st of 1980, back down to $795 in 82, and then all the way up to a pinnacle in June 1st of 1989, $3,000, crazy. And of course, like many coins from that time, plummeted back down. 1995, we're back at $700, and then up and down, kind of a very slow appreciation over time. We get to 2008, November of 2008, $850, and then it plummeted back down to a value of during February of 2020, during the pandemic, $425, and then it's climbed back up to $525. I always find those kind of charts very interesting when it talks about the value, and of course price as and value is dictated by demand. But for someone like me that's trying to get a typeset of early American commemoratives, it works to my favor that the demand is less, or at least perceived less, because the value of these is less now than it has been for a long time. So great time for me to be able to find a nice specimen like this, and a mint state 67 CAC verified. I can only believe that the amount I paid, which was the high 400s, if I remember correctly, it's only going to appreciate over time. They're not making any more of these, and to have examples in this condition, even though like compared to, like, let's say the push for getting nice graded Morgans and peace dollars, I think that that demand is huge right now. The demand for this is not as high, but there is definitely going to be people looking for coins like this down the road. But as I always said, my intention with these is not to try to make a profit. I very much like to give these to my children, have them enjoy them, and pass them on to their children perhaps. But I just want to, it's for the value of collecting for me. And I do like that. I believe that it will retain its value. All right, let's take a look at our checklist here, early American commemorative coins. And currently we have 12 on here that have been claimed. All right, last time, I believe, what did I show last time? It was either the grant, I think it was the grant, or the boon, I don't remember which one. Either way, here we are, right here, 1936. There's a whole bunch that were done in 1936, but we are looking for Norfolk. So right here, let's go ahead and give that an X. That always feels good to mark that off the list. So there we go, 1936 Norfolk, Virginia bicentennial half dollar. That's now 13 coins on the checklist. So that feels pretty darn good. All right, how about one more quick look at this beautiful coin. Not a lot of open fields, of course, on the Obverse, but just a lot to look at. See if I can give you a different angle. There you have it. I sure dig it. Very, very happy to add this one to my collection. Glad to pick up this exact coin. So that's what I have for you today. This is Big Stack Numismatics. I sure appreciate you watching this video. I'll be back at you real soon. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.